I asked when we were starting this process, I said, I'm just going to call a couple venues. They're like, we're not giving you any information, and that's not how we work. So we've actually, like I was talking before, we're happy to help other people to get going. And if they're interested, any information I can give, I'm happy because I feel like we're confident in our product and there's enough couples to go around. I mean, there's lots of couples and I'm happy to share information. That's just the way that we are.
Welcome to the Venue RX. On this show, we document and share best practices around owning, operating, and managing world-class wedding venues.
What is up, MaryBeth? Thank you so much for being here on the Venue RX podcast. I cannot wait to talk to you and hear about your venue, Windridge Estate. Thank you so much for being here today.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it and looking forward to chatting with you the next 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. We chatted just a little bit before we started recording, and I'm fascinated. I want to hear about your venue, but I'm really interested to hear how your business has evolved over the years, and kind of some of the changes that you've made and things like that. So before we get into all of that, could you give me a little bit of a personal background on you and kind of like pre-wedding venue? What were you doing professionally, personally? Give us as much background as you want.
Sure. So my name is MaryBeth. I grew up in Upstate New York. My husband did as well. Prior to the wedding industry, I was a cultural anthropology major, and I did my master's in teaching. Fast forward, we got married, and I was then a domestic engineer for a nonprofit organization, aka stay-at-home mom, and loved it. Zero regrets. And I was able to, in high school and college, I was racing competitively, a runner. And then, when the kids were little, I did some triathlon racing. I did some coaching, everything that I could do to be able to still stay at home with the kids. Fast forward, as they got older, I got more into doing, their events and coaching, some running teams and things like that as well. But then also some event planning, on a racing side. So my background was more in event planning and from a sports background. 2014, our kids went off to college. We're on a property that was built in 1804. So we've lived here since 2002. And we're only the 8th owners. So our kids used to play paintball in the barn. We used to host family events, and we're on 80 acres. And it was when you buy an old property, you have to put some love into it, and you have to, you want to take care of it. But to try to do a wedding venue when the kids were younger, that just it wouldn't have been feasible. So off they go to college, and then family dinners, sitting around at Thanksgiving. I'm Irish. My husband's Italian. So that was another reason why we bought the property. We hosted everything. So we didn't really have to travel for holidays. It was great. We loved it. My sister had, corporate event, planning. And so after, some drinks at Thanksgiving, we're like, what should we do? Let's do something with the barns. We were going to go the equine route. And we had it roughed out for stalls. We weren't going to manage it or anything. We're in an upstate New Yorker here. We're in a equine alley. You've got Cornell University. You've got we did Casanova College and Morrisville College. So there's a lot of the equines. So we had that roughed out. And then fast forward, the person that we were going to work with ended up moving down the road and opening their own barn. So we shelved it, and they did the equine route. Then we said, you know what, let's do something with it. So fast forward, we said, let's do weddings. And here we are, 7th year. We specialize in wedding weekends. So you come in Friday or you come in Thursday. We have a cottage on the property that the guests stay. So they're our family for the weekend. And that's that's what we really focused on. We've stayed in our lane on that. We don't do multiple weddings during the, on the weekend because for us, that doesn't work. It's tailored to the couple's taste, and that's what we found that they want.
That is an incredible story. By the way, I have to call out, I love how you, I love the title. You said domestic engineer of a
non-for-profit organization.
I love that. That is so.
I love staying home, and it was, I was blessed that I could, and it's teamwork. That's my husband had a family business, and hours were long, and so it's teamwork. So that's the running joke now. He works for me now. Quote, works for me. He's retired. Yeah.
My mom, I'm going to tell my mom that because I'm just going to say, Mom, you need to do that because she raised the four of us and we're homeschooled. And so but she never has used that phrase that as her professional job title. She's got to put that on LinkedIn. I love it.
I have to give credit to my sister yet. I think she's the one that told me that. So she did the same as well too. Yeah.
So I was just trying to track here with the timing and everything. So you really started weddings you said 7 years. So in 2016 is when you...
2017, and I have my notes. 2017 was in the fall was our first wedding. So it was a 2-year process behind the scenes because if we're going to do it, we wanted to do it right. So we're on historic Route 20, which happens to be the longest road in the United States. Everyone loves to talk about Route 66, but Route 20 is the longest road in the United States. Okay. So we called the venue originally Red Barn 20. And we are in a town called Casanova. We're in the town, not the village. So we are, the corridors going into the village. So we didn't have to do a zoning change like other venues or properties because we were already put in a commercial overlay. So, but it was a 2-year process. So we had to have sound engineers. We had to have, an archaeological dig. At the time, we had to have our well drained. We're on public now. We had, everything. Monthly meetings with the town board. So as you know that, you can't just go back. You have a meeting on Thursday. You can't go back on a Friday. You have to wait to the next month. So we did our homework. We did it right. We were approved November of 2016. And that's when we started the social media. We started, we were touring and it was a dilapidated barn at the time. I mean, they were built in the 1800s, 1804 to be exact. So, here we are giving tours and this is what it's going to look like. And I just remember because the parents' families are involved a lot. That's one of the reasons why our clients choose here is because they want to spend time with their family and their friends in an unhurried environment. So I remember parents looking like, what is she talking about? But a couple of couples took a chance on us and then it just, it snowballed from there. So we've been lucky and blessed. Yeah.
I'm curious about the process that you went through. You said the well drain, some of these different infrastructure elements. Were you aware of those going into it, or did you start along the process and talk to the town and then eventually they said, hey, you need to do this, and you kind of, I guess, learned about some of those things along the way?
We did our homework before. So we asked for all of the information, a lot of research online, went through the application process, which is, it's quite detailed for a town. And it varies across the country, but it was quite detailed. So we just, we had an architect involved. We had an engineer involved. It had to be, everything had to be compliant. We couldn't use the second floor, because that's the way the barn is structured. It's cabled when you go when you went from hay to hay bales, that structurally compromised the barn. So it's cabled up top. And so we had to follow all the rules and regulations, even to dark sky compliant lights and, making sure that the fire trucks can get up and around the circle. So yeah, we it wasn't a just, oh, let's just fly by night. We did our homework and we did our research.
Did you have a sense of how much that would cost in the process of doing your research, or were you surprised at how much it cost?
What you think it's going to cost, I probably like a lot of things. And then to do it right, it definitely, it definitely costs more than what we expected. But we weren't looking for any private funding. We weren't looking for any public funding or grants or anything. We did it all on our own. Yeah.
Okay. I'm always fascinated by this because I think people listening to the show, watching the show, whatever, if they're considering opening a venue, so many people, it's more expensive. The process is longer. And even just from my own research here in San Diego, I know we're on the other side of the country, but there's not, at least where we are, there's not some sort of encyclopedia for all of the things that you need to do. It's more of, pull on the string and then some stuff falls down and then you kind of follow that.
Correct. And it's networking too. And I remember specifically, I asked when we were starting this process, I said, I'm just going to call a couple venues. And I still remember, they're like, we're not giving you any information, and that's not how we work. So we've actually, like I was talking before, we're happy to help other people, to get going. And if they're interested, any information I can give, I'm happy because I feel like we're confident in our product and there's enough couples to go around. I mean, we're seasonal. We're June to October. So we do anywhere. I love to do 16, 17. We have 18 for next year. So it's a short, so there's lots of couples and I'm happy to share information. That's just the way that we are. Yeah.
That's so cool. And I'm not going to go into a sidebar on Weeva, I promise, but that is one of the things that I'm passionate about, the Weeva Association, because I feel like that is kind of the hey, I'm not going to tell you anything model is very, maybe more old school, and your mindset of abundance and saying, hey, there's like plenty of couples to go around. It's, as it's tough to build and operate a venue.
Yes. Oh,
even with information, right? So
exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So could you share, so now post, you did some hard hat tours, as we call them, and you were casting the vision. You have that first year of weddings. How many weddings did you do in your first year?
We believe, so our first one, I want to say probably, was there maybe 3? I don't have the exact number, but I want to say 3 or 4. And then we also put in corporate events. So we had some fundraisers and things like that first year.
Was that over or under what you were expecting or what you wanted to do for your first year?
I would say that was about right spot on. Yeah, for our first, because we opened really in September. But by the time, so we were building right through that spring, and we're in upstate New York. And so there's, we had snow. So we were building right along. And actually the goal was we didn't take anything before on that first year that we were open, before September, because we wanted to be confident that everything would be done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I can imagine it'd be a little nerve wracking if you had taken some deposits for some first, right? And then say, hey, it's such a deep bounce.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm curious about the operations and kind of some of the metamorphosis that maybe you went through after you had those first few weddings, now being, much better. And I'm assuming your system is much more fluid. What were some of those things that you learned in the operational process of hosting a wedding that you maybe wish you could have told yourself in year 1, year 2 to kind of make things smoother?
I think having like a systems operation, we're on Honeybook, and then we also are on Aisle Planner as well too. We work with both, and I think starting that earlier, because that in the beginning where the emails were just coming in, and making sure we didn't double book. or double book the same date. So part of that process was I wish I started that earlier as well. That would be a big one. Yeah.
You remember why you didn't start that?
I don't think I knew about it. I think, again, you're starting out and you're just, we're figuring if I can get 500 people to a starting line for a triathlon or a road race, or, I can get, 100 people for a wedding or 150 people for a wedding. So I didn't think about that. And then as you talk to more people and you start educating yourself more, then you learn what more options are. And that's the goal, is to always try to improve. Another thing on that, I wish, I'm on site for all of our events and actively involved. So I see people are they hot? Are they cold? So how did we address that? We added fans. We added heaters. So different things like that were maybe in that first year, but again, you don't know what you don't know until you experience it. And then that's where you gain more knowledge. And then you can decide, okay, is this in the budget? Can we do this? Because, you want to provide experience for clients that, when I go to a wedding, I would want to feel that way. And so that's climate control is a big one, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely, because it's the venue, it's all focused on the atmosphere and the environment. Mm-hmm. Hey there, thanks so much for watching or listening. I wanted to take a moment and share about Common Sense Events. Common Sense Events is my company that professionally manages and operates venues all across the United States, and we're looking to work with a couple more venues this year. If you own a venue in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, North Carolina, we are looking to work with you. Our company comes in and takes care of the marketing, the sales, the operations. We hire all of the employees, we manage all the employees, and primarily our agreements are based off of revenue share models. So it's a very affordable way to have your venue professionally managed. And this is especially good if you're thinking about retiring, selling your venue, but maybe you don't want to sell the land, or you're looking for another management option than you currently have in place. If you're interested in this, please reach out by email at venues@cseventservices.com, or you can also click the link in the description of this video or podcast. We'd love to hear from you and look forward to seeing if there's a way for us to serve you. I wanted to clarify a point. So you said you use both Honeybook and you use Aisle Planner. Are you planning the weddings as well, or do you work with planners?
So we have an in-house planner on our staff, but couples are more than welcome to bring their own planner. But what I have found is that our couples, and I don't know if it's just in this area, our couples find us first, and then we recommend vendors. So we're venue only, and that includes, our couples contract with us for the venue, and then we give them recommendations of local vendors for catering, the bar, all of those different things. But it was important to, I like having an in-house planner because it makes us produce a better product, and they're more confident, because I found that sometimes maybe they weren't having a planner, and then we were doing that planning. But we're welcomed. I would love to have planners come in and bring clients to us, but for some, I don't know if it's our area or they find the venue first.
Absolutely. I think I've definitely seen that hold consistent across the entire country. And for everyone I've talked to, finding the venue first and then doing the planner. I think the main differentiation is, do you have a planner that you're requiring people to go with as a part of the venue, or is it something where it's like, hey, congratulations, you booked your venue. Now, here's 5 possible planners, or you can go out into the market and find somebody. We built it into our package. Cool. So when clients book with us, so for 2024, we have 18 weddings. And so, I handle all of the interaction, when couples reach out to us via our website. I'm that line, and that's done on Honeybook. And I'm interacting, I'm scheduling tours, I'm calling so they're interacting just with me, touring, talking through everything.
once they, if they do decide to book with us, then they get, once the contract goes out, and that's the contract goes out on Honeybook, then they get loaded onto Aisle Planner. So all of we have inventory, we have decor, we have all sorts of things. And then that's where their timeline gets built in. So then that's where, our staff is working on the planning side, but then I'm also keeping the Honeybook side, for payments and things. So could I give up one and consolidate? I guess at some point, but right now, both systems, we have a system that works, and we're just going to continue to use it. But so then by the time the couple gets to, and they have unlimited access to it. So by the time they get to the wedding, we're all family. We're all friends and family. And they're, we joke. It's like, all right, I'm your neighbor for the weekend, but I won't be a pain in the butt neighbor. Stuff. We live right next door. They get married in our backyard. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's really neat though. It sounds like you're using Honeybook as really almost the lead management system, almost, and the CRM, and then you're using Aisle Planner as the planning tool and kind of keeping track of inventory and seating chart, layout, all that type of stuff.
Exactly. Yes. Yep. I used to, when we first started, used all seated, but once we brought in with the planning, and they were coming from an Aisle Planner background, it just made sense just to keep with Aisle Planner and not go, made sense to keep with, Aisle Planner, not go with all seated. Yeah.
Totally.
And it got expensive. Yeah. All seated got expensive.
It really is.
Yes.
That's our experience too.
And I couldn't justify it for, we're seasonal venue. So, we have a short window. And so that it makes sense for other venues, but it didn't make sense for us.
Perfect. MaryBeth, I love that you said that just now, because I really hope people hear that, because there is not a one size fits all for this industry. If you are doing, just like you guys, if you're doing 15 to 20 events a year, the advice, the systems, the insurance, the contract language, a lot of that stuff, it is going to be different than someone who's running 100, 120 weddings a year. And you just have to take that. And then also the markets. If you're in California or you're in New York or you're in Texas or Montana, like those different environments and those different markets are going to also create a significant difference in the systems that you use, the advice you take from consultants and people. So I love that you said that. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's true. And on that, like with your podcast, you can interview, other venue owners from other parts of the country, and you'll get, parts of maybe something of a system, that they have a little different, take on it. And then it's, then maybe you explore those options. So yeah, I agree with you. You have to feel confident in your own skin to go with what works for you and not what you think you should be doing or what people feel like they can tell you. And that's where it goes based on, again, back to, we just revamped the website, based on what I thought and what the data says, aren't necessarily the exact same. So I'm willing to, trust the experts and stay in my lane on certain things.
And I wanted to get into that, the marketing side of what you kind of laid out the client journey for us in terms of like how you have things delegated. But in terms of marketing, are couples finding you through online directories like Wedding Wire and The Knot and, similar ones, Here Comes the Guide, whatever, or is it more of an organic search type thing? Like, how are couples finding you?
So we started out with, we were on Knot and Wedding Wire. And that was a big part of the marketing budget when you're starting out, and for us, it didn't work because a lot of our clients don't live here. So they may have some tie to upstate New York, or they want the wedding weekend format. So with those two platforms that you're marketing, you have to market to your geographic location. So it didn't make sense for us. So we did that for a few years. And then I stopped and I took those marketing dollars and I put that into more building up the social media. And so it's organic search, and it's also, we grew up here too. So, they advertising in this area, like from friends that now their kids maybe live other parts of the area, other parts of the country. But I would say it was more, so we're heavy on social media now, on Instagram, our website. We do Pinterest. We don't do any paid Facebook ads or anything like that. And, we take pride in our reviews too, that we try to keep up on our Google reviews as well too. So that's where I feel like we're getting the momentum.
Definitely. How did you discover that your couples were coming from out of town? Because that's an interesting transition to kind of realize that it's not necessarily your local market, and it might be people that are driving.
And we quickly discovered that in the beginning because our price point is a little higher because of what we offer in that weekend format. So say people living close to this area might not need the farmer cottage, which I'm in right now, that sleeps 10, or that they might not need that whole weekend experience. So we then went and looking at where the couples, where they're filling out the forms, they're coming from out of the area. We've had Spain, California, Colorado, Massachusetts, all over. And I feel like it's our job to, if they like this format and style, the wedding weekend, that we show them that this is, little upstate New York has a lot to offer. And that's the other thing too, when you start looking at the prices outside of New York City. If you took our venue and put it closer to New York City, there'd be a lot more zeros on the back. And so, but I think people see the value in what they're looking for. They want an unhurried, they want an unhurried and unforgettable wedding getaway. They want to just be able to spend time with friends and family, and they don't want it rushed. And we don't rush them. We're a private venue. We're not open to the public. So the only people that are up here are the couple and their guests.
Yeah, it's experiential, and I feel like that's
absolutely, yeah,
huge momentum of where this is going.
Yep. So like they have, so there might be some tie here. Getting back to your original question, because I go off on tangents. They may have gone to Syracuse University or Colgate University or Cornell, or those are all not too far from us, or they may have gone to high school here or something, and they want to come home to get married.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Last thing on marketing, you mentioned designing your website. So when you started out, did you do the website yourself?
We had a company that built our logo and then did our website. But we loaded they'd be like our galleries, like back then, we thought we had to put like 500 pictures on the website. And so, the galleries, the website wouldn't load correctly, or just would be slow and different things. And so the website has evolved like the business has evolved. And so, that was, originally we were Red Barn 20, when we first started with our website, because we were a historic barn on Route 20. And the property has always been called Windridge Estate, and I did not want to start with that. And my husband said, you guys are going to regret that. And fast forward, we did the brand refresh with the website. So some things we've done with the website, but again, staying in our lane. And I'm, even the website it needs to look nice, but it needs to have the right information in it. And that's key. And that's what I felt like I really got now working with ID Action, to get that, to get that website done the right way. And it takes time. It takes time and research, and was extremely happy. And again, thanks to you, because that was when I was in the barn looking, listening to your podcast about that, and just, like, okay, yeah, I need some help on this. So yes. So website, that it's important because that's your marketing tool. That's where we're investing our time, energy, and money into, and not on, spending in other platforms. So I want to do it right. And I realize that, I might think I know what to do, but I don't at the end.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you that. And
yeah,
for saying that, by the way, that was very kind. But I wanted to ask you, how do you determine, and if someone's listening to this right now, how do they determine what things that they should take on by themselves, and then what things they should, as you said, kind of like stay in your lane, and you're going to run the venue, like you said, and then I'm going to delegate website design to someone else. Like, how should someone figure that out?
I think it's trial and error. And I think also, like, okay, what does your budget look like? Cause that where can you spend, what you have? You've got a limited amount of resources. Everyone has a budget. So we tell our clients too, so what can I do, versus what I need to do? And what do I have to do because I need that done? So do I need to maybe, do I do the chairs, which I do? Like, do I spend more money, more time on, sweat and labor, and then have, someone else then do the important things like the website and things like that. So I know it's my roundabout way, but I feel like you learn, there's no set answer, but each venue, it's unique and different on that. And I think you figure it out as you go. And I don't know if it's my age, because I'm in my 50s. So it's like, I've got okay, I've certain things, like our person that handles our social media now, she's younger, and, she is more in tune to the age of the couples too.
Hey there, pardon the interruption. I wanted to take a minute and share about Common Sense Events and the consulting and management services we provide. Common Sense Events has been a venue management company that professionally manages and operates venues all over the United States for the last 5 years, and we've booked hundreds and hundreds of weddings. We've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Google ads and Facebook ads per year, and we would love to help serve you at your venue if you're considering a new model of venue management. Now, this is perfect if you own or operate a venue and you're just looking to kind of have it be more of a passive investment for you, more of a real estate play rather than an active business that you run, or if you're a real estate investor and you're looking to purchase a piece of land but don't really know how you're going to manage it. That's where our team comes in. We do everything from the marketing, the sales, the operations, and we have teams in place that we hire locally to help you with all of those things. We manage those teams, we pay for the taxes, we do everything from setting up tables and chairs all the way to the final review of the wedding. So if that sounds interesting to you, we would love to chat with you. You can reach us at venues@cseventservices.com, and you can also just reach out on the podcast. You can send us a DM on Instagram, or even just click the link in the description of this video or podcast. Thank you so much. Now back to the show.
So it sounds like, if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like you're saying do what you know and you are good at, like you said, with the running the venue. Like, you can run the venue, whereas you may not feel as confident creating a web page or even, doing that. So you're going to take advice and you're going to reach out, but you're going to be maybe setting up the tables and chairs to make room in the budget so that you can spend a little extra on that.
Yeah. And I love to do it too. I love to be on site for all the events and things, but I also know when you can't expect when we tell the couples, they come and they're overwhelmed. And it's like, you need to go look at other venues, and you shouldn't know this because you're not, this is your first time getting married. How do you know what a first look looks like? Or how do you, do you want a buffet or a sit down? You don't know those questions. And that's the same, how should I, just because I'm in the wedding business, why should I assume that I know how to put together the right website, and know the wording? When you really start doing your homework and the research, you realize that it's not just it's not just a pretty thing that you're presenting. It's your business. It has layers, and it has goals of what you want it to achieve.
Yeah, that makes total sense. MaryBeth, I want to pivot just a little bit, talk about some of the more operational components of the business. We can kind of wrap up with that today. I also ask people the two questions, what's your favorite part, least favorite part? So I got to ask you that at the end as well. But just speaking operationally, when someone gets married at the property, and I know you said it's, it is venue only, but do you have tables and chairs? Do you have like a bar? Are you partnering with a rental company? Like, give me a little bit of the background and when you sign up to get married at Windridge Estate, what are you getting with that?
So you're getting the property for the weekend. You're getting a house on the property that's fully furnished that sleeps 10. You're getting 2 swimming pools.
One quick interruption here.
Yeah.
You said the weekend. So is it a check-in on Friday afternoon and then they're leaving on Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, or is it Monday morning? Give me the range.
So I'm a morning person. So I joke with my clients. You can check in at 6 a.m. So you can come as early as you want on Friday, and you can stay as late as you want on Sunday. Typically it's like 5 o'clock is what we say. But that is, so you've got that. So it's the full day, and you can do the rehearsal dinner on site. You can do your Sunday brunch on site. You can have your after gathering on site. The property includes, so what you're getting for that weekend is so we have the red barn, the white barn, the Belvedere, which is a 40 by 40 outdoor pavilion. We're also in the process of building a dedicated tent space. And that actually, we've got the bulldozers out now. That'll be done here at the end of the week. And you've tables and chairs and ceremony and decor. And that's like, I don't want to get nickeled and dimed, and I don't want our clients to. So that's all built into the process. So we have all of the decor. We have all of the decor. We have furniture pieces. We've got what we don't have is all catering things. So like we do not have we don't have the plates and the linens and things like that. We help you work with your caterer and to work on all of that stuff. And we have a catering prep kitchen, because that puts us that's different than a catering kitchen, because we feel it's important for our clients to be able to choose all their own vendors. And food is a big thing. We've got a short list of clients of vendors that we like to work with, but at the end of the day, it's the couple's choice, because food and beverage is a big part of it. So we want them to make those decisions. So really so everything, you don't really need any rentals coming in, because we, from decor and design on what's on the table, of course, flowers, photographer, videographer, those things that you entertainment, those things that you'd need, but we're pretty much in-house, and I keep an eye on what rental companies around the country, what styles, what people like. I listen to what our clients want, and if, Wayfair is my friend, like different sofas and different things. So they have all that stuff here. Yeah. Yep.
I was going to ask how and that perfectly answered it. I was going to ask, how do you keep up with all the trends and all the different evolutions of style and things like that?
And it's, you sort of, you get an idea of, like what, Instagram is the big one, you just sort of see, and, vendors across the country of like, what do you see in those pictures and what people are like, and listening to our clients. I had a couple last week. I'm like, all right, I want to get a blue or a black couch. What do you guys think? What would you use? What would you like? So we're always trying to build each year and improve. That's the goal. Like if I can take at the end of each season, say, you know what? We learned a lot. This is another great season. How do we get better? I always want to, I think it's my triathlon racing days. Like I'm competitive. I'm not going to lie. I want to win. So that was the joke. It was like the venue business is the new Ironman for me. So I was I just channeled that. So what do you need to do that? You need to prepare. You need to educate yourself. You need to listen and all of those things. And I just put that, surround yourself with great people. I've got a great staff. Couldn't do it without them. We have an excellent staff.
So I wanted to, that was actually my next question.
Yeah.
In terms of operations, what's your team look like? Do you have set up and tear down people? Do you have venue managers? Like, what's your staff setup at your venue for the weddings you have?
So we have we have a seasonal staff of about 5 that come in season, and then off season or throughout the year, our event planner on staff. She manages social media, and also she does planning and coordination with the guests. So, with the couples. So that's more of a year, and that's I'm a single LLC. So those are seasonal workers that work for us during when business is open, and then the planner and social that's just we contract out with them.
Got it.
Yeah.
With the seasonal help, are these the same people who are coming back, or is that a struggle kind of bringing that team back in?
No, we've got a crew that come back. Yeah. It's all like a lot of people that we know, and it's their family. And, and I feel like, we pay them well, and it's a fun, I joke because we don't take vendor meals. And so I'm always running down to grab our crew pizza, and, so and they enjoy it, and they work hard. And I appreciate that, because, we're all in it together, and to produce a product and an eventful and joyful weekend for our clients. And you can't do that by yourself. You can't. You have to surround yourself with good people. And to have good people, you have to treat them the way you want to be treated. So, yeah.
Totally. That makes so much sense. That resonates with everything that I've experienced. And
yeah,
I love the fact that from everything you're telling me, it seems like it's really a special experience to get married there, because they really are. Like, you're treating them as part of the family. You're coming in. You also, I can tell the competitiveness and kind of the fire you have and the energy you have around eating something that's really special for these couples. So and the website and just everything that I can see from pictures of the venue, stunning. So huge. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm curious, just as kind of a concluding question, is, kind of the 18 weddings mark, is that fully booked for you? Is that kind of what you want to be? Is that your target, or are you looking to expand that in the coming years?
You would only, because it's June to October, so you would, you only have a finite amount of weekends. So I think it might be 20, but it's nice to take a weekend out. So ideally it's that 15 to 17 weddings a season. Yep.
Got it.
And we're 18 for next year, and we might have one more. So we'll see. Yeah. But that's ideal. That's because I don't want to go into November, because, and I don't want to start in May, because May we need to prep the grounds. There's always flowers and my husband takes credit for that. He does all the flowers, and the edging and all of that stuff. It has to look pristine. And in order for it to look pristine, you need to do the mulching. You need to get all that stuff done. And the same thing with November. I don't want to get into November, because then in upstate, we have snow on the ground already here. And again, the leaves are off the trees and stuff like that. So I want to be able to deliver a product that the clients want to book. And could I do those? Could I do May and could I do November? I probably could, but it wouldn't be the product that I want to deliver for our couples and their families and guests.
That makes total sense. And it's property too, like you said.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We live here. You never leave it. And that's people joke, because I always tell a couple, they're like, do you do winter weddings? And I'm like, no, because it looks like The Shining up here in the winter. We take off and work remotely from Miami. So it just, we work really hard. We do. I'm not going to, but we love it. We love it. Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's, you just, to see the couples and their families by the time they get to the wedding, you've been working with them for over a year. It's just, that's what it's all about. Yeah.
That's so neat. That's so neat. Well, speaking of things you love, I'm curious. Let's end with what you love most about a venue. But what is something that you've struggled with, or something you maybe don't like about venue ownership?
I would say two things, I guess. The uncertainty of certain, we've got pools, we've got a pond, so there's always something. I'm always thinking the uncertainty of like what could happen. And I always have a plan. So that's one. The late nights, I'm a morning person, and that's my own fault. I need to do a better job of having someone do the late nights, the midnight part. So that would be, but those are two, one, you can't, it's just, that's the way it is when you do a venue or you do anything. There's always liability. There's always things that could happen. And then the second thing, like I said, I could fix, and I will fix. And then what do I love about it? I love meeting the families. It's like a kindergarten class in the beginning, and it's like they're all new and they're excited, and to watch them go through the process and to see the joy on their faces and their families, and to just be like, this was the best weekend of our lives. We get the best couples. They're just so gracious and like it just to see that through. That's the best part. It really is. And just to, cause we have two children. We have two boys, 29 and 27. So I'm going to be going through that at some point. And so I just see the joy in the families, especially the parents. Yeah. it just adds to everything. Yeah. Families, what it is.
You think they're getting married at the property?
I think probably. I know.
I have to ask. No, you're a pro at this point.
I know. We'll see. I've got my nephew that's getting married here next year. Cool. And so we'll see. They've got to, probably. Yeah, probably.
So yep. Cool. Well, MaryBeth, if people want to reach out to you, if, they're thinking about a venue or they have a question about maybe how you do some of the work with Honeybook and Aisle Planner or something like that, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So on our website is windridgeestate.com, and my email's on there, info@windridgeestate.com. You can also we're on Instagram as well too, same Windridge Estate. And my phone number, I believe, is on the website as well too. So I'm better at talking. I'm better at talking than an email. I would rather just I'm old school. I'd rather pick up the phone and just chat with people.
Me too, 100%. Yeah. And that's Windridge Estate, so it's two E's?
Yes.
Estate, okay.
WindridgeEstate.com.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for coming on, spending your time.
You're welcome.
This was a lot of fun, and
thank you.
I'm excited for people to hear this. And
I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to the organization that's you've started too as well too. So launch part. Sorry, I'm not going to be in Vegas, but would love to try to get involved. Yeah,
definitely. Well, we will have other events. Our goal really is to have more regionally focused events because, as the seasonality in Upstate New York is going to be different from different parts of the country, and so we want to bring groups of people together that share similar experiences and kind of can share the things that work for them to tackle some of those unique challenges. So
right. Great.
All right. Well, we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Hey friends, Jonathan here, and I wanted to share about Common Sense Events consulting packages. If you are a venue owner and you're struggling with your marketing, your sales, your operations, or maybe there's just, you're new to the industry and you want to really have a leg up and get a jump start on getting your business going and not make a lot of the mistakes that oftentimes people make, the mistakes that we made, frankly, when we first started, we would love to chat with you and see if there's a way that we can serve you. Our team has experience working with over 10 venues all across the United States, doing consulting. We've hosted hundreds and hundreds of weddings at this point, and we know what it takes to be successful. If this sounds interesting to you, we would love to chat with you. You can either reach out by filling out the link in the description of the video or podcast, or you can just email us at venues@cs wseventservices.com, and we would love to chat with you and see if there's a way that we can serve you. All right, back to the show.